joining us on another vlog. It's been a while since the last one. We've got quite a bit of content that we're picking up along the way, but we just haven't really had time to pull the vlog together and edit it. But we thought we'd do one on this trip we've done from down through France, Spain, into Portugal, and we're now on our way back. There was a number of things we had to change in terms of the way we went caravanning. You know, we had a smaller awning, we had a lot less equipment. We wanted to make some changes to the caravan, some modifications, and there's a few tips along the way as well. So we wanted to share, there's 8 of those tips I wanted to share with you. The first one is an alternative bin. I'll go into more detail as we go through it. The second one, a cheap intruder alarm. The third one, an awning rail light, a solar light that fits on the awning rail. Modification to the door magnet. A tip for fixing the Alko wheel lock dust cap that regularly frustrates us. The breakaway cable, a small modification to the breakaway cable. We had a small accident, well actually in Wales before we set away, so I wanted to just share that with you. Finding a secret vent, in the awning to reduce condensation. I call it a secret vent because campers seem to keep it a secret, but we found it, so we may as well share it with you. No doubt some of you already got that. And finally, coming up with an alternative LPG supply for the CADAC while we're touring, and preserving the gas that we carry in the caravan for just the caravan, and maintaining something alternative for the CADAC. So if we go on to the first one, alternative bin. The bin in the caravan, I think most caravans have the bin on the door for whatever reason, I don't know. It's really too small for our waste that we tend to generate, and it has no facility for recycling. You know, all the sites that we go to have facility for plastic recycling, cardboard recycling, yet the caravan doesn't have any space for that. When we're out with the caravan on normal UK trips, we have the big awning, we've got plenty of space, we have a facility in that awning, in the larger awning for that. But when we're touring, we're doing a lot of miles, we're setting up very short periods along the way. We wanted to have something that was a lot smaller, that didn't involve a great amount of space. And finally, the door bin I'd already used for something else. I keep all my motor mover equipment in, the spirit level, stuff that I need to set the caravan up as soon as we arrive on site. So I open the door, all my stuff's in the bin. So I had an interest in coming up with an alternative there. So I'll take you inside the van and show you exactly what we did. So this is the cupboard that Elaine freed up in the kitchen. We just needed to lift the shelf slightly. So that's with the shelf out and 2 bearers on the floor to take the to the new bin assembly. And that's the finished job really, the shelf in the new position. The bin slides out, it's got 2 compartments, a larger section at the front, a smaller section at the rear. Slides back in, sort of soft close, and then door shuts, so it's all out of the way. Item number 2, a cheap intruder alarm. There's been a lot of reports, people travelling down from the UK through France and through Spain, that it's a bit like bandit country. I think it possibly is in places, and we know of people who have been broken into through the night while they've been sleeping in the van. You know, tend to be stopping in these airs, which are like a roadside, if you like, a service area where you can stop with your caravan or your motorhome through the night and making the journey down. So we've always been conscious that we've put our caravan on a site wherever we've been. We haven't really used these airs, but still people do break into caravans, and they have been known to break into caravans through the night while you're sleeping. You know, we've got all sorts of security devices on the caravan, you know, trackers, alarms, everything else. However, if you're asleep at night, I wanted to know, if somebody had broken in. So we got a simple alarm, and I'll show you the photos of that now and how I installed it. This is the contact that I got from Screwfix for £2.99. I didn't fix it into the door, it's just stuck on with self-adhesive tape to the door and the frame. I also used the casing of a magnetic door contact just to space it off a little bit so that it cleared the door frame. Basically, when the contact breaks, the alarm goes off. So it's got two settings on here. It's got off, down one click to chime, and one click to an alarm. The alarm's about 120 decibels. So I'll just illustrate it with the chime setting. That's the door. Drop the handle, open the door. That's probably loud enough to wake us up in the middle of the night if somebody should open the caravan in northern France. Okay, number 3, the solar awning rail light. The caravan has an awning light on this side, on the awning side. It's an awning light. However, we're aware we're touring in the winter where the days are very short, and we're leaving a lot of sites in the dark, and potentially, we haven't had to yet, but potentially arriving at a site in the dark. And there's a lot of equipment on the other side of the caravan, the water trugs, the waste trug, the electrics plug in over there. There's a lot of stuff connects over there, and you don't want to be doing it in the dark. So I fabricated a light, bought a light and then fabricated it onto a bit of strip, and I'll take you through the details of that now. This shows the light installed. Pretty cheap bit of kit from Screwfix again, just a solar motion sensor light. Fairly basic equipment to fix it, some self-adhesive external tape. Need a pair of scissors, I guess. I just mounted it on a narrow strip of awning skirt. Below the light, I just punched a hole and fixed a camper limpet so that after it was slid onto the awning rail, it would be secured in place. The wind wouldn't blow it around or move it. Here's a demonstration of it being inserted. So I made this Heath Robinson type light, which is basically a LED solar panel, LED lights, and a limpet on the bottom. So, and there's some spaces on the back just to space it off. Slide it in the awning rail. It's made with a piece of awning skirt. Slide it along here. Tighten the limpet. Turn it on. Then at night it'll light up. I'll maybe do a quick demonstration of it later. Alright. This is it. We've got the standard awning light at the back here. So I'll just approach it. There we go. It picks you up pretty quickly. And it's casting quite good light. Actually, it's probably casting as good a light, if not better, than the existing awning light. Number 4, modification of the door magnet. Yeah, the magnet on the Caravan is particularly strong. I mean, it's hugely strong. I'm not quite sure what they think it needs to be that strong for. Maybe in a gale force wind you need it that strong. I'm not too sure. But you've always found that if you're in the Caravan and you want to shut the door, you've got to actually come out the Caravan and pull on the side of the Caravan door to pull it off its magnet catch. So we've come up with a bit of a solution on reducing the strength of that magnet, and here it is. Like all good ideas, it's very simple. A bit of duct tape cut to shape of the magnet, stuck on the magnet on the Caravan side, and then when the two are brought into contact with each other, they don't stick as much. Okay, tip number 5, the Alko wheel lock. I think Alko were having a bad day when they came up with the Alko wheel locks, particularly for a twin axle. The whole system is a joke. But aside from that, there is a dust cap for each Alko lock that needs to be left in place when you're touring, so when you're travelling, so you don't get dust and dirt in the threads where this thing screws in. So you've got to put that on and take it off. A little plastic thing through a little tiny spoke. I mean, if you had the hands of a child, you probably wouldn't be able to get your hands through the spoke and tighten this nut up. So we've come with a bit of a solution to maybe reduce some of the frustrations of fitting an Alko lock. I'll take you through it now. These are the locks fitted on the twin axle. Fairly clean twin axle, it seems. The Alko kit comes in its own little gift bag and various bits and pieces, but this is the tricky one to fit. As if by magic, it stays on the screwdriver. Secret, a bit of blue tack. Yeah, if you stick a little bit of blue tack in the actual slot, you can see this has been used several times. You can stick a screwdriver in, it'll hold it quite neatly while you position it in the thread, screw it up, leave the blue tack in. Next time you need it, it's there, sticks it to your screwdriver to bring it back out. Item 6, the breakaway cable modification. It's a fairly basic modification, but when we were in Wales, I walked past the A-frame one day and managed to tear a massive great hole in my brand new trousers, because this cable, although it has a made-off end, on the end of the made-off end the wires are sticking out and they're just like razor blades. I hadn't appreciated that, so now I clip it out the way anyway. I mean, a lot of people said, oh yeah, we clip it out the way, but I left it so it wasn't a loop, if you like. But I'll take you through the modifications. This is the manufactured end of the breakaway cable. You can see where it returns round and there's that crimping going on, how the cable sticks out the edge of it, and it's ridiculously sharp. And walking past it one day, and yeah, that's the hole that's created in the side of my trousers. So it was just wrapped it in PVC tape, just to prevent anyone catching themselves on it in the future. So item 7, finding an awning secret vent. Both this smaller awning and our larger awning, both camper air awnings, do suffer from condensation in certain conditions. You know, when you've got a bit of humidity, warm moist air inside, and it's particularly cold outside, you'll get a bit of condensation on the inside, and that can be a bit troublesome if it's dripping onto things. And it was, I don't know, seven months after we got rolling that I discovered in the top corner of the awning is like a pull down vent. I discovered it when I went to the show, because the newer awnings, in fact this is an awning we bought there, it actually has the marking on it to say this is a ventilation thing, pull it down to see, but it's hidden behind the inflated tube, if you like, so it is quite difficult to see. But if you pull that down, it allows air through, in and through and out the other one on your awning. So yeah, that's a secret that camper didn't want to share with anybody. I think it's not in the instruction booklet or anything, but having those vents does reduce condensation in the awning. Item 8, the final tip or trick or modification, whatever you want to call it. is an alternative LPG supply for the CADAC. In the Caravan, we've got 2 Cala light bottles that we run the Caravan on. That provides heating if we wanted it to. It provides supply for the fridge if we want it to. These all run off other sources of energy as well. It provides the cooker, and the Caravan also has an external connection for the CADAC, and I've always run the CADAC off the external connection. I had a pipe made up, plug it on to the side of the Caravan, works fine. However, on a long trip travelling down to Portugal, Cala is just a UK thing. You cannot get Cala in France, Spain, Portugal. So we set off with almost 2 full bottles when we left Folkestone. And in my mind, I was always conscious we need to make these 2 bottles last the journey. Which touch wood, they probably will do. However, Christmas Day, we switched over from one bottle, having used one, onto the other bottle, and I began to think, right, we've only got 1 bottle now to get us all the way back to the UK. Or we start modifying the regulator on the Caravan in order to take a local bottle here, which didn't fill me with a great deal of confidence. So I wanted to keep the Caravan on the Cala till we get back, and then fill up with the new Cala light bottles when we get back to the UK. So I thought, let's put the CADAC on an alternative supply. So we found that camping gas is available all across Europe. The very small bottles that you see on little camper stores to slightly larger ones. So we got the larger one, and then I got a regulator for it that screws in and connects to the CADAC. You've got to make sure the regulator is the right pressure. These regulators come in different pressures depending on what you require, and that is working great for the CADAC. So the CADAC now is independent of our Cala light facility in the van. It's just a small bottle we carry supplementary to the others in the front locker. A little bit more nose weight, but bearing in mind the Cala lights one's empty anyway, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference. Then it got me on thinking, let's say the Cala light bottles do run out for some reason. We need to have an alternative. You always need an alternative in life. So I've discovered that you can get an adapter that fits a camping gas bottle that I can then screw on to the pipe I have for the Caravan. So I would basically unscrew the Cala light, put my little camping gas in there, and it'll actually run the Caravan from a camping gas bottle. Surprisingly, it probably wouldn't last too long, but at least camping gas is available here. So I got that adapter. I actually got it through Amazon, delivered to a locker here, and that will work fine if we run out. I don't think we will. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy the vlog, and maybe some of the tips are of some use to you. If not, don't bother doing them. But if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Feel free to comment, and I can comment back. I've got quite a bit of content still from this trip to get put out. Until then, bye for now.